Alrighty, hello there, folks. We are live here on my channel. I think, we're obviously going to wait for some more people to pour in here, but obviously you guys may know the gentleman that's sitting here today. He's over on Twitter is where most of you will know him from. He's quite active over there. He's, aspiring filmmaker and musician, and he's had an idea, it was about a month ago, I think now, wasn't it, or so, roughly?
Yeah, about 6 weeks.
Yeah. And he has this idea for a film that he wants to put together, and it's going to be somewhat interesting because he's obviously going to be telling, the story of Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey kind of, but in an anonymous kind of way, in the way where the characters aren't going to be directly named. It's going to be more of an anonymous telling, but it's also going to be interesting from some of the segments that he's kind of already started to develop and shown. I already know there's some humor there that's going to be pretty funny. So I'm liking the way it's shaping up, and it's looking like it could be a lot of fun. So he wanted a chance to get out today and kind of give you guys an idea of what he was looking to do. He's going to be trying to put these things together, putting together his storylines, and so he wanted to get out and talk to everybody out there today and bounce some ideas around, and maybe you guys can find him on Twitter and give him a hand with this. So here he is, Mr. Linus Knight. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me on.
Yep, you're welcome. No problem, buddy.
Yeah,
Good to have you.
I've been so excited to do this. I've done little videos on YouTube in the past, even shorter 2-minute videos for like Facebook and stuff, all the way back to when my friend and I did like this comedy series on YouTube. It's called Blinkered. It's still on there. There's about 22 episodes where I wrote and directed some, and my friend did most of the rest of the writing and directing. But now I've been following Making a Murderer specifically through watching the 20 episodes on Netflix and watching your videos for the past few years, and I kept wanting to see a video of a what if. I need a visual of what could have happened, even though it 100% most likely didn't. I'm trying to make a visual of there's more than what the state is saying could have gone down with the evidence or lack thereof. So there's, I kind of wrote at first I was thinking like a short film to like a feature length independent movie, but then I thought that would be too messy. So now I'm just looking at 10 episodes, aiming 10 to 20 minutes each. And it's going to be a very low budget. I'm kind of, it's kind of guerrilla filmmaking here. I'm kind of just flying by the seat of my pants trying to get this done. So,
right. This is going to be the demo for the eventual real project, right?
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. When I get a couple $1 million, $36 million, I can make this movie,
36.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice round number. So, all right. So obviously, I don't know. So by that, you mean you're going to go ahead and try to piece together in a way, or in your own way, at least from your own interpretations of the documents, you're going to be trying to kind of piece together Zellner's theory in a sense.
Yeah, I'm following along, and there's been a bunch of theories from Zellner, and I think a lot of people are hearing and reading them and going, that's preposterous. These are only words. So what I'm doing is trying to make a visual representation of some theories out there, especially from Zellner, for people to see for themselves. I'm not going into this saying it's 100% this way or that way. I'm just going in saying this totally could have happened this way. And then by episode 2, it's a completely alternate timeline. Sometimes the story will be like 3 episodes of the same theory. And then, another episode will be starting over. So like every time you see October 31st, this is a new theory type of thing.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
And I'm not going to use anybody specific. I'm going to kind of use kind of
code
general
names.
Yeah, code names. Code names is the best way I could do it. Like episode 1's called The Hunter. you want me just to go through the ideas of the episode?
Yeah, if you want to, you know, that if you want to kind of lay your framework of what you're thinking, he doesn't have everything fleshed out, folks, but he can give you an idea of what his kind of thought is here. So go ahead.
I'm about 15% into this thing. So chapter 1, I have the hunter. That's about somebody that hunts. The second chapter is called the stepfather. That would be the hunter's stepfather. The chapter 3 is called the ex-boyfriend. Chapter 4 is the Rav. Chapter 5 is the search. Chapter 6, the lab. Chapter 7 is going to be the prize. I moved that up. It was originally episode 1, but
right.
Chapter 8, the witness. That one I have the least amount of work into it. I just knew I wanted to put something in there about a witness, so I'm going to be building backwards from that. Chapter 9 is the defenders, which 2 defenders that we know very well. Chapter 10 is the getaway. So I basically...
I would change one thing, and that is, instead of saying the Rav, which is a bit on the nose,
sure,
you might say the Jeep. Because it gets referred to that in interrogations many, many times.
You know what? I'm changing it right now.
Just a suggestion, obviously, but yeah,
absolutely.
in keeping it anonymous. So anyway,
the 4 Jeep, the 4-wheel drive Jeep,
right? So, folks, for those of us who have read the documents and have been keeping up with this, you can see that this project, when it's done, is likely to be very interesting to us who know about the case and everything. Yeah. And so I'm pretty excited to see what Linus comes up with here. It should be interesting. And you can tell from the framework he just laid out what, the points he's looking to hit and that kind of thing. So you've already been working on the first 3 episodes, right?
Yes, the hunter, the stepfather, and the ex. I'm trying to put out some foundation markers so I don't kind of screw myself writing wise, run out of story that I'm trying to tell, hitting the things that I know I want to touch on, and then I'm kind of writing inwards from those points to connect them, because I knew before I could finish episode 1, by the time I got to episode 3, I needed to have introduced the hunter, the stepfather, and the ex before I even got to episode 3. So I said, why not just start with those? And then by the time the rest gets fleshed out and they pop up in those episodes, you know exactly who they are already. These fictional characters based on the first 3 fictional episodes that I'm creating. So I'm pretty excited.
So I will say, I don't know, to give you guys an idea of some of the humor, particularly that I thought was good, is he recently made a mock-up kind of the hunter a bit, and he was doing some segments of it. And it was quite funny because he had a part where the hunter is being kind of questioned. I wouldn't say interrogated. I would say questioned by a police officer. And it's funny because the hunter has his kid with him. And so suddenly, and this works into the dialogue, which is hilarious. But the fact the kid has this little squeaky toy, and the kid starts squeaking the squeaky toy, and the best part is when the cop at one point goes, "Oh yeah, oh that's kind of loud."
Like kind of loud. Not distracting. Okay, just gonna sit him right on your lap.
I about started laughing, so I was like, "Okay, that's good." So
I'll post a link to that in the chat if anybody's wanting to see that.
So it was good stuff, and so I'm like I said, folks, go over and check him out on Twitter. This stuff is over on his Twitter, and see some of the segments he's created, and kind of look at what he's looking to do and how he's doing it. Main reason why I wanted to get him on here is just in case any of you out there haven't discovered him on Twitter. This is going to be a fun project. This is going to be interesting, and I think by the time it's said and done, it's going to be, like I said, something kind of fun for everybody to focus on, and get together, so I think it's going to be fun. So,
yeah, I started, I created an account on Backstage, which is like where indie filmmakers or shows on network television go to find extras or actors. And I signed up, paid for it, and then I posted a casting call for one of the episodes, which is now episode 8. So it's not something that I'm even to yet. But
Right.
I've got a few people interested in acting the part. I just want to make sure that they look like the character I'm trying to write, and
Right.
that they can be believable. I don't want necessarily somebody that's trying to act and they look on screen like they're trying to act. I want it to be natural, even if it's not at all like the character I have in my head.
Right.
I would rather it seem realistic and like hidden, like
Right.
CCTV footage, rather than a very, very poor acted and written and directed documentary. I don't want to
Right.
put anything out if it's going to be bad.
Right. I understand.
But I've already started location scouting for some of the things I know I need to film at, which is like a junkyard.
Right.
I have a couple scenes there. I need to find a house where a scene will take place where bones might be burned, or a body in general. I'm going to make a mailbox or a sign for that. And I think I'm going to call it XANDER.
Okay.
The street. So
Right.
I'm looking forward to that. I don't want this to be it either. I know I need to kind of take what I have and make sure that is good first, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. I look at this as a season 1, like American Crime or American Horror Story, where it's an anthology. Every season is different. That's the goal. But for right now, I'm just trying to make 10 episodes that everybody online that looks at this Avery, Brendan Dassey, Teresa Hallback case can sit there and go, I'll be damned.
Yep.
Like that's partially what I was thinking, or that absolutely could happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or I'm full of crap. I'm fine with any of them. So
who knows? I mean, honestly, you said it yourself. Zellner has actually kind of put up a couple different theories, in a way. So, hey, look, there's some open for interpretation, kind of an openness to interpretation here. So, what I was going to say is, hey, look, I think you're doing pretty well with it. You're kind of just working as the inspiration hits you. And look, dude, those segments that are coming out, it's like I said, you're kind of hitting it because they're getting the information across that you're trying to get across, but then you're also kind of hitting that humor. And, even though it's you acting them out, it's you can get the idea of where you're headed with it. So, you're doing pretty well with it. I think you're visualizing it pretty well and all that sort of stuff. And then I want to just go ahead and say hi to everybody in the chat over here. We got Millbilly, Kim Eastwood, Dark Side of the Moon. How you guys doing?
Hey, everybody.
Spooky, how you doing? Marshall Downs, Crispin Rosenkrantz. Also commented on your titles, like your title chapters, by the way.
Oh, cool. That was so nice.
So, all right. So welcome everybody. And so I'm, like I said, I'm pretty excited that, and like I said, it looks like it looks like the inspiration's coming to you fairly often. And so I feel confident you're going to end up fleshing this thing out over time. Not too long.
Thank you. Yeah. I, every night when I'm totally not at work, thinking of different ideas, I jot them down in my notes and I try to transfer them into final draft, in script format, which is not easy a lot because my brain goes so fast and I'm like, wait, I'm going to forget.
Right.
So I'm not a writer per se. It's more improv and camera work and editing and acting and stuff. So the writing thing has always been like a bullet point, and then we go, okay, we just need to do this in the scene, and then I would go, okay, and then we would try to just film that a bunch of different ways and take the best one. So this is my first go at actually writing in a correct format, and I don't even know if this is the best way to do it. I might end up just using an outline and say, hey, this is what the characters need to do. Do it in your own way, how you would do it. What I don't know yet, but I'm going to start with writing a script that's pretty basic for each episode, about 10 to 20 pages. And did you want me to run through the first little scene in script form?
You want to run through it for everybody? Sure. Yeah.
I made a template video idea out of this already, where I was acting out the roles, just so I knew what I was writing. I wanted to see it visually before I filmed it. So that's on my YouTube channel, as well as the interview segment. This starts out episode 1, The Hunter. Exterior, the woods, afternoon. From a black screen, we smash cut to a still tripod shot with some trees in the background. Most of this background is a bit blurry and out of focus. After a few beats, we see a blurry figure frantically run past the camera. We cut to a running shaky cam shot, side view, showing close-ups of the person running. It's a female. We cut to her feet, upper body, but never the face, etc. We see a medium shot of just the bow lift into frame as we see the hunter's right eye as he locks on his prey. The hunter pulls back the bow. We cut to the person running again frantically until they stop as they run towards the camera facing it. We pan up to show that the running person has an arrow sticking out of their chest. They've been hit. The dark-haired girl falls to the ground. She falls out of frame to the ground, and we cut to a facing close-up shot of the bow with everything behind it out of focus until the bow lowers, revealing the hunter's face. Camera cuts to the prey laying on the ground, gasping for breath as we see the feet of the hunter walk up to the laying girl. With the camera staying on the feet, very still, and with all of the trees in the camera shot, we hear him pull the arrow out. We hear it, but we don't see it. He towers over his dying prey. He starts to undo his jacket in an attempt to get undressed for something more morbid. Smash cut, side close view of the hunter's eye, interior, hunter's bedroom, morning. It was a dream. We cut to a close-up shot of the hunter's face sideways since he's in bed. He is not upset over this because this was a fantasy. He wakes up with a grin. And that's where I've ended the first shot.
All right. Interesting angle, dream sequence. Yeah.
I knew I wanted to jump into the action, but I was like, the hunter is not who I have doing a crime per se in this series. Right. So how do I do both? And I went, he would have a fantasy about it. Duh.
Okay.
So but I have since writing that decided instead of him waking up, which is like first day of screenwriting 101 don'ts, like every script starts with somebody waking up and it's a montage of they're getting up, like don't do that. So I'm going to just have him laying in his bed with his eyes open, like he's just daydreaming. So that little change.
Right.
After that though, I don't know where I wanted to go to. Somebody I call the defendant who lives next door in a red house. So I wanted him setting up a photo shoot for a car he's selling for his sister, but I don't know how exactly I'm going to do that yet, whether it is his idea or somebody makes him think it's his idea because they have a darker plan. Because originally I had the hunter's stepfather and his girlfriend, who was the hunter's real mom, come up with a plan to get him to sell a vehicle to get a photographer to come out to the house, and they manipulate him into thinking it's his idea and he's doing something nice for her. So on paper, at the end of the day, it looks like he insisted.
Right.
I'm still trying to work out how to do that. And also, anybody listening, I really need help staying on a consistent fact and event kind of straight line here. I know I just basically said I'm trying to go all over the place for made up conspiracy options, which is the complete opposite of what I'm asking now. But I still need that backbone of what the facts are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if I am going around the line, I need to make sure I don't go back and forth confusing people as to what I'm trying to say. So if there are things that I'm using for inspiration, I need to make sure it's the right thing. I think I owe that to Stephen and Brendan and Teresa at the very least. So
absolutely. So I mean, I don't know. I was thinking maybe if it ends with him waking up and daydreaming in bed or whatever, I figure, I don't know, maybe the segue is like to pan to the window and then like
see the Jeep
into the window and out of it, and then next door or something, I don't know, and then I don't know, that would be the end of your episode though, so you'd have to have that sequence at the end of 1 and at the beginning of 2 for it to be
right. Yeah, because I like the idea of the Jeep pulling up, the hunter going to the window after his daydream, but there
you go.
That's a couple hours after the phone call to set up the appointment. So I would have to come up with a little bit of setup for another character. I wanted to do an A and B story. I don't want to just tell one person for 10, 20 minutes. So
Right. Okay.
Allows me to get some more things done.
Yep. All right. Well, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and let you do your thing, of course. So, but yeah, I just have some ideas. Hey, look, dude, it looks like I said, looks like what you've got so far is going to be pretty entertaining. So I'm, hope
Thank you.
want to help you, and so hopefully we'll get some more people interested and checking you out on Twitter, and we'll get some interest in it. So we'll
thank you guys.
Fun. So.
Yeah, thank you, man. This means a lot to me, getting me on here promoting this. Anybody that has any ideas or viewpoints they want me to tell in this story, if you have advice, please tweet me or send me a DM, comment on one of my YouTube videos, anything. I will read every single one of them and take him into consideration, because at this point, the last thing I think is that I know everything. So I would have all of you as producers in name only. If you want, I'll have the whole credits be thank you to you guys for helping me and keeping me on track. So
what's the name of your YouTube channel?
It's just youtube.com/Linus Knight. Everything is, Linus Knight except for Facebook. That's Linus Revolution for some reason. I can't remember why. But Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all at or / Linus Knight.
All right, here you go, Crispin. Get you a link to his channel.
I also do music and my own music videos too. So those, for the past few years that I've directed myself, are on my channel. It's R&B, hip hop kind of stuff, but I do all the instruments. So I try to do it DIY as much as I can. My friend Joel has helped me. He's like 90% of the reason all of my music and music videos have gotten completed. So he's the one that's pushed me to be great, and he's done most of the filming, if not all of it. So I want to shout out to Joel. His YouTube is Comeuppance Network on Twitter if you want to follow him. Some of my old TV show that we did on YouTube is on there. It's called Blinkered. But yeah, Comeuppance Network. His name is Joel Henderson. Shout out to him.
Yep. Right on. Everybody, if you want to go check that out. So, is there anything else you want to say about before we go, or maybe a little bit about episode 3, or?
Yeah, I don't have too much exciting things today. I just wanted to kind of get the ball rolling, but
we've given them enough to get their appetite wet. So
sure. Episode 2, I originally had titled The Sikaki Theory. So if that tells you anything, I'm going to have the stepfather basically going to work and basically going from an asshole stepdad. We see him unravel into basically a version of Heisenberg from Breaking Bad, but instead of drugs, it's manipulating people and murder. So
Heisenberg.
Yeah, I just can't think of another way to say it other than Mr. Rogers turns into Scarface, but he was never Mr. Rogers. He was never Mr. Rogers to begin with.
I was going to say Mr. Rogers. I don't know about that.
Right. So we see his unraveling, and then by chapter 3, we see the ex, where an ex-boyfriend goes to this girl who happened to be daydreamed about in episode 1 in the first scene. But this girl comes home. It's late at night. It happens to be Halloween. And her ex-boyfriend, who is violent, and her have a disagreement in her driveway, and he ends up killing her and putting her in the back of her vehicle. He has a couple phone calls and missed calls as well. I have to go back for obvious reasons, to make sure that the people he's talking to or not talking to are accurate. And he kind of tries to come up with an alibi on his own with his ex-girlfriend's roommate, trying to say, hey, I'm looking for this girl, my ex-girlfriend. That's why I'm here. I totally didn't just kill her. And he'll be like, oh, no, I didn't see her. He's thinking when the cops come, the roommate will be like, no, yeah, he showed up looking for her. He didn't know where she was either. So at that point, the hunter, his best friend, I think I'm going to call him O.Mar, just because it's a spin on a letter O. Right. And go over to the ex's house trying to come up with a plan. And then we find out via phone that the hunter's stepfather is calling the shots for whatever reason, telling them to get rid of the vehicle. And they say, where? And he says, and he remembers that he's buying property. And he says, take it over to my new property. Nobody's there. Nobody will mess with it. And
Right.
and instead of the idiots hiding it behind the house, they hide it right next to the driveway, which is then seen in the Jeep episode right after this one by a passerby who reports it to an officer at a gas station, who then calls in the plates and removes them. So I have this string of bullet points I know I need to get to.
Right.
And I don't want it to be, oh my God, it's kind of getting interesting. And then there's 3 episodes of like more introductions of new people.
Right.
Because I hate when shows do that. So I'm going to try to slowly intertwine them and keep it going the whole time.
Right.
But yeah, I hope everybody's excited. This isn't going to be, AMC TV worthy at all. But I do feel I have a good vision when it comes to color grading and camera angles and shots. So at the very least, this will look pretty dope, in my opinion.
Does Cuss Road come into your?
Oh, absolutely, Cuss Road does. Yeah, right. That'll be in the Jeep episode because they dumped the body off Cuss Road before they moved the Jeep.
Right.
So
there you go. All right. Well,
it's just a stunt, man.
Now, it occurs to me hitting the bullet points that this may not come out. I don't know. This may have some slight issues, but I think it's going to be pretty good. I think it's going to be, fairly on the mark. I would think so.
Yeah. All I'm doing here is trying to.
It'll certainly give people a gist.
I'm trying to give all of us a voice who maybe feel like this is clearly what happened, and they're just another quote unquote conspiracy theorist to the state of Wisconsin on the internet. I want to give everybody like something to push behind. Be like, see, this may be only 75% legit, but this is what we're talking about. Maybe it'll open somebody's eyes. Maybe somebody that's on the fence go, oh my God, I didn't think it was possible, but I just saw those 3 idiot actors do it, so it is possible. Who knows?
Right. But
thank you to everybody.
Hey, yeah, it ought to be interesting. So I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up there, folks. Like I said, go over and check out Linus on Twitter. And his YouTube, which I already put the link for. I can actually put his Twitter link for you guys too.
That's so nice. Thanks.
No worries. And it was actually, originally you were asking me about this, right? And then, but also TikTok Manitowoc ended up, right?
Sure.
In on it, and that was funny. Now, folks, I would have tried to get TikTok Manitowoc in here with us today, but I'm telling you, folks, that guy is more elusive than a unicorn. So,
Yeah, we were talking about episode 8 being the, core of the project, the prize, and the person it's based on is so, to me, like I don't care about the real man at all. I know he did some terrible things, allegedly, and
right.
Not only would I feel uncomfortable filming those things for the sake of trying to prove that he was bad, I feel like there's a way we could use that and put it in a bigger story. So I am gonna take TikTok Manitowoc's suggestion of basically using those. What are they called? The files? I got to look back on it.
Well, you mean the queso?
No, it's from the victims that he represented. That he was sexting.
So, yeah. From the district attorney's office.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna use that for the core of the prize episode, and then by the end, him get a phone call saying, we got a job for you, or if it's already in the middle of something, be like, okay, it's on the property, and it'll be like, are you sure? Like, how are they going to be able to find it? Oh, they'll find it. And then we cut to a close-up of a Jeep covered in a basically bright-colored tarp with nothing else covered in it, and it just pans back, and then it just cuts to black. So
with the tarp on it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. With
I was going to say, that's the one thing I make fun of with the RAV4 is like everybody has like it was hidden. It was like
right.
The attempts to hide that thing made it stick out like such a sore thumb you couldn't freaking miss it.
Hiding it would have been
God was not needed.
Breaking the windows, making it look old and used, and putting it without covering it up with the other vehicles, maybe the same color as it. Who knows?
Yeah. But big old hood, branches on it.
Why didn't they just put a big? a big arrow light neon sign
Right.
right above it.
May as well have been.
Just unbelievable, some of these things.
So I don't know if you saw my premiere earlier today, but I have put it. There was a clip in it of when Mr. Hodnott and I were in Wisconsin 2 years ago at Raleigh, and we were goofing around, and we found this little road on our way to Raleigh called Sturm Road, and so we had to stop and so we just couldn't help it.
Oh my God! Did God lead you the way?
Yeah, didn't lead the way. We were making all kinds of jokes. You should go back and watch it.
Oh my God!
We were making a lot of similar jokes though to that. Yes, and
I believe that God showed us the way.
I just feel like when I'm standing in this spot, is one of the things he said. When I'm standing in this spot, that anything that I might have lost, I can find again, be it my car keys or my $20 or my virginity.
Oh my God!
Anyway,
it's
my
so
whole point
unbelievable.
about her is like God was not needed, dude. Whoever supposedly hid the RAV4 made it stick out like a sore thumb. And we all know how we are as humans. When we walk into a room or walk into an area, we always immediately go to the thing that looks different. Our eye is always drawn to the thing that looks different.
Sorry to interrupt. I just got inspired. I think I'm going to make another video where somebody finds the key after 7 searches. Because it's so ridiculous, dude. I found this key after shaking it a lot. So, and like,
the coins didn't move though, eh?
This is unused. Was this a spare key? No, it's got to be the regular one that she was killed with. You know, it's like, here's a picture of her with 18 keys on a keychain.
Right.
That is not this. Looks the same to me. So probably close the case. Right? Yeah. Probably close the case now, or
should I close the case?
No more questions. Yeah. No investigation.
That's what I get. I love it, dude. That's the humor. I can tell this is gonna be good because it's gonna be interesting and humorous. I love it, dude. Oh my God.
It was so stupid how this investigation. It's all fiction to me. Like no.
Well, most of it, I think, yeah. In a lot of ways.
Believe it. It's all around. There's stuff that I'm like, because why? You know? There's stuff all around the board. Things that even the defenders didn't bring up. I'm like, because why? And then Kratz and did you guys see anything on the thing when Teresa was missing? Did she call you? No. Then you didn't kill her? It's like him pointing at people and stuff in the courtroom 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, like
unbelievable, man. But yeah, I'm very, very motivated to tell this story one way or the other, just to put it out there. That idea that everybody's acting like couldn't be possible or exist because they're too afraid to bring it up. Because if it's brought up, then that means to them, then that's what happened. That's not the case. You could bring up possibilities. Just give a good back and forth as to why it's not possible with actual evidence.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know there's going to be people that shit on this and make fun of how I shot it, how my lack of experience is very obvious in my filmmaking. That's fine. I'm not even a good filmmaker. I just want to make people laugh and think different times, you know? So if that's what I do, if that's what I can do, then I will be so happy. So
right on, man. Right on. So
Red Bull, cheers.
There you go. All right, folks. So that's what's happening. So I encourage you all to go check out Linus's Twitter. Keep an eye on what he's doing here. Keep an eye on this project. Like I said, I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be funny, and I also think it's going to be informative. So everybody be watching out for that. Thank you for being here, Linus. It was fun.
Hey, thanks, everyone. Thank you, Erekose, for having me on. This has been a dream come true. You're like a movie star to me, so this is unbelievable.
Right on, man. Hey, I'm just another guy, so happy to help out. So, all right, folks, you know the drill. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe, and we'll see you.
See you later, everyone.